isn't evenly matched programs together, but right now, once again, Clayton is just having their way down low with any effortless whatsoever. Howard and Watkins, they're just getting down low. And then you add in the mix of Moses, number 40 for the Clayton Comets. I mean, the size difference of Clayton, height-wise, is impressive.
33-12 at the half. Quick timeout to thank our sponsor, Carolina Security Consultants. The second half is next on CRN.
Carolina Security Consultants is your residential security consultants leader. Our security assessment is custom tailored for each project. Give Danny a call, 336-312-5326. Make sure to tell...
Now back to live coverage on the CRN Sports Network.
Ready now for the second half of action. Comets will bring it inbound. Led by Princeton first. Woodall with the ball, 14 up court. Pressure by Watkins. Under the basket is Howard playing defense. Looking for a shot was Renee Braswell, the center forward senior captain for the Bulldogs, and we got a foul. Foul is going to be against Delaney Eves, the 5'10 power forward junior, and this is going to bring Renee Braswell to the line. The senior, Trey Snyde, will shoot two.
She misses the first one, and like I said, they need, when they get the opportunity to be at the free throw line, they say it's the easiest one to make. You got to make both of them. And of course, she misses both of those.
So both free throw shots, no good for Braswell. Comets back on court, led by Dariana Howard, the freshman. Strong forward guard at 6 foot. She sets it up to Hedinger. Hedinger under attack, loses the ball by Braswell. Coming back up in the piles, Meredith Wooten in 10. She'll set it up now to Woodall. Woodall goes inside the paint, looking away and a takeaway. An attempt to Leanna Nelson. Travel call, and they're going to turn it right back over and give it to Clayton. No, it'll be Princeton's ball.
It'll be Princeton ball. Henniker, she tried to move it. Like I said, it's a fast-paced game for Clayton.
Yes.
She tries to move the ball, gives it to Howard, but she took just a little bit too many steps.
And let's be honest here, Princeton's still in this dogfight. Anything can happen. And a foul and a whistle here and a stoppage of play. Looks like it's on 32. Foul again on 32. That's 2 fouls in a row for the power forward at 5'10 of Delana Eves, the junior. 1 foul. She had a foul a minute ago. She didn't?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I thought it was a foul, but it's not. With the ball, Woodall. And a travel call against number 11, Landon Cook. Landon Cook will travel. And this will give the ball to Clayton. 7:08 in the third. 33-12. Nobody has put points on the board here at Deacon Jones Arena in the gymnasium for the second half of play. And we got a referee calling timeout to do some cleanup on the floor.
A little slippage action over there as Delaney Eves didn't like how she was kind of sticking to the floor there. So
we call that debris in motorsports.
There you go. No comment.
Of course, there's a piece of debris, fluid, kitty litter. Yeah. We got the track cleared up. We got the floor dried off. We're ready to go back to play. That's what happens when you announce so many different sports like I do. Hedinger gets the ball back to Howard. Howard to Hedinger, goes inside to Best. Best now looks for Watkins. Watkins under two-lady pressure. She'll take it to the paint on the rock on her own. She'll fall to the ground and turns it over back to the Bulldogs. Back up court. It's Wooten. Set it up under pressure by Best in 24 for the Comets. Last touch there by Nelson. Nelson goes in, sets it up from Cook. Back to Woodall. Woodall's under the basket. They'll turn it back over. Watkins comes out of the dog pile with it. And they're going to say it's last touch by
Clayton
and give it back to Princeton. Wow.
And look at the difference between the first half and the second half of Princeton. We said both teams are evenly matched.
Totally different team.
See it's a different. Look at this, wide open lane. They found number 24 and Braswell wide open.
Rihanna Braswell, the captain, center forward, senior number 24, puts it in for 2. 33-14. First points of the second half by either team here on CRN. Hedinger with the ball, sets it up to Watkins. Watkins back to the paint, top of the key. Goes back there looking for Hedinger. Hedinger jukes, jives under pressure by Wooten. Wooten now makes Hedinger turn it back over to Howard. Howard about slips there for a moment, gathered herself up there. from tripping. Going back to Hettinger. Hettinger now right there close to the half-court line. Keeps on going. Hettinger goes to Best. Best under 2. Lady pressure. Make it 3. Puts it in and 2.
Where did that come from?
Great footwork by Unique Best, the 5'6" senior forward. And a comeback from the Bulldogs.
4 points for number 24 in Braswell. That's first or 2 baskets here in the second half for Princeton.
Braswell putting in now both 4 points total in this second half of play so far. Hettinger goes back to Howard. Howard goes back to Hettinger. They'll place Hot Potato with the ball. The rock will still be held by Hettinger. She's about to half court. Sets up. Going to let him reset. Under pressure for a moment was Woodall. Here comes Best onto the basket. No, and it goes in and out. No good. And they'll call jump ball. Give it back to Clayton.
Wow. Look at me. Look at the hustle by what I'm seeing out of Princeton. Number 24, once again, Braswell, and Best fought for the basketball down low after the miss. And fortunately, it is in favor of the arrow for Clayton.
35-16, under 5 minutes now in the third. And Howard goes back to Hettinger, back to Watkins. Watkins for 3. Off the rim, goes in, no good. Coming back for the rebound. It will be called against out of bounds on the Bulldogs. Princeton turns it over back to Clayton.
Again, I see the hustle by both teams. The first 3-point shot attempted by Clayton this evening.
35-16. Clayton still out in front. Going back for a shot, a one-arm move by Howard. Under the basket by Watkins. They're going to call whistle and foul. And a 2-point coming up shot foul. Foul on number 24. Brianna Braswell, the captain for the Bulldogs, and the center forward senior will call for the foul, and this will bring number 11. The guard strong forward, junior 5'10" of Alexa Watkins to the line and shoot 2, and she misses her first.
Unfortunately, on that play, I didn't see Braswell there anywhere around the vicinity. I thought it was number 11 for the Bulldogs in Cook, who, again, neither person had a foul, so it doesn't really matter. But
right.
I think it was just a missed call on the foul thing for the Princeton Bulldogs.
Yeah, that's a tough break there. Misses her first, nails her second. For Watkins, Hettinger will take a rest. Relieving in sub is Kaija Washington, the 5'2" point guard senior for the Comets. Most recently in Friday night against Wake Forest, 29-16.
Look at the ball moving by Princeton.
Good move
shot
there, yes. And they've cut the lead in half. 18-18. It's an 18-point lead.
Woodall with her first
Howard.
basket here in the second half as well.
Yes, sir. Howard to Watkins, back to Washington. Watkins going on her own under the basket, bouncing off the rim, and it's up, but she'll get her own rebound as best. Watkins will get it back, and slash touch by Princeton, give it back to Clayton.
What I love about Unique Best for Clayton is she might not be the most talented one on the court,
right,
but she gives you every possible inch of excitement, enthusiasm, everything she possibly has, she gives it to. I love it.
For sure. Without a doubt.
Number 5, Howard, once again puts it up, and that's going to be her 20th point here in the ball game. And just muscled away down low after she misses the first 2 attempts. She gets 2 offensive rebounds, and then right now she takes the ball away, gives it to Washington, and she's going to be fouled as she attempted the shot. So it will be two free throws coming up right now. That is by number 11. I think that was a makeup call by the referees here by number 11. That's her. It's going to be her first Cook of the ball game.
And Washington shoots. Misses her first. Washington misses first at the free throw line. Eves will take a rest. Coming in now, 40, the junior. Center at 6'1", Shirley Moses.
Marlon Lee looks disgusted with the free throws. That, again, it's
turns it over. Washington trying to get it back. And gives it back to Princeton. Great recovery by Leanna Nelson. Gets it back inside the paint, looking for 14 and 11. 10's there as well. Wooten, Woodall, and Nelson. Sounds like a law firm. Under the basket. Give it back to Clayton. Watkins Howard looking for Moses. And she'll go on her own to the basket. Up and no good. Give it back to Princeton. Turns it over. 3:08. 3 minutes remaining here now in the third. About lost the ball was Cook. Cook stops, resets, goes for three. Basket in and up and no good. Rebound. Give it back to Nelson. Nelson goes under the basket. Two-lady pressure by Moses and Howard for the Comets. Shoot going up. Nobody there for the air ball. Give it back to Clayton as Watkins comes out of that pile up under the basket. Watkins at midcourt sets it up to Best. Best under pressure now by Cook and Woodall. Woodall now sets it off to Howard. Howard looking for Best, thinks better, goes on her own. She about turned over the ball. Set it over, give it to Washington. Sets it back now to Watkins. They'll stop and reset for a moment. 2:20 now remaining here in the third. And Watkins now backs, stops, resets the team. Gets them ready here. 20-point lead Clayton has over the Bulldogs of Princeton. Howard, Watkins back to Howard. Howard looks now back to Watkins. Looking to try to see if they can get it to Best or Moses. And they're playing possum. Trey Snide shades again of letting the clock run down.
Exactly. I saw the facial expression of Woodall as she was attempted to get both players, Watkins and Howard, and she just said, screw this, I'm not doing this anymore.
Washington under the basket looking for Woodall. Woodall just got bombed, so to speak. She goes in and fouls. Drops Washington. And the foul on number 14. Haley Woodall, the Ford senior, one of the captains.
2 fouls on number 14.
And Clayton will bring it back inbounds with Washington back to Watkins.
They look gassed. Princeton, they're going all out. And
90 seconds remaining here in the third, and you are saying fatigue is settling in, and they're saying, what are you doing? Why? What are you doing here? And there's Woodall just coming in there on pressure on Watkins. Woodall looked like she was getting a little impatient there. Shaking her head.
Yeah.
Looking at Watkins. Watkins shoots, jives, resets, about lost the ball, gathers it back in, and we're about to go to 1 minute remaining here in the third. And the game of cat and mouse continues for the ladies here in Princeton.
They're just getting a little frustrated and being impatient. Again, they're pushing it out. And when they do foul, or when they do come out and guard, they're going to call a foul on Wooten there. But when they do come out and guard, when they're playing the cat and mouse, like you mentioned, it's still the words from you, Wesley, that they force it, try to go inside, and then that's when they pick up the foul.
That's right.
And so it's working in Clayton's favor, but they're just worn out.
And Meredith Wooten, who was the one that drew the foul, the number 10 guard junior. And Clayton will go back again. You go this way, I'll grab you with the paw. You go that way, I'll grab you with the paw. For the foul is what the paw is. Yeah. But Watkins holding on to the ball here. Under 45 seconds remaining in the third. Watkins goes back to Howard. They're at midcourt. And they just let the ball bouncing off the court. And setting up to go inside is Wooten to try to draw another foul. And number 12 of Radford. Where do you make your move, Trey Snide? We've seen this several times, but it's really working hard against Princeton tonight.
Well, it looks like they're pushing them all the way. Eventually what's going to happen is they're going to push them all the way back to half court, and then there's going to be Moses or Best down low by himself, and she misses the wide-open three over here.
And the final seconds of the third with Washington on the ball. She takes it to the house, to Howard. Two-lady pressure. Will it go in? The basket's no good. Princeton gets the rebound and throws it to the other end of the court, to the horn, and that's the third. So a nice little game of cat and mouse in 9 games here on the court. End up with no scores. It's a 20-point game, 38-18 as we go to the fourth, Trey Snide.
Yeah, again, it's just that entire, you saw what Princeton could do. They were more aggressive, but when being more aggressive means you're doing a lot more, putting more effort into that aggression. And fortunately, with the cat and mouse game, like pushing them all the way back to the half-court line, that's when they either pick up the foul. They picked up 4 fouls just by using that technique from Clayton. But when they do come out and pick them up at the half court, they try to bring it inside. And then eventually what's going to happen, there's going to be a few players wide open. And we already saw where Unique Best was by herself in the behind the three-point line.
Sitting duck.
And they didn't throw it to her because they didn't have to.
And here's another quick statistic. 6 points are scored. 6 points are scored by Princeton. 33-12 at the half, 6 points. Only 5 points for Clayton. 33-12 at the half for Clayton. So not really a lot of scoring going on either.
Well, again, that was more of the scoring-wise. That was more of
defensive play.
No, well, Clayton just wasn't shooting the ball. I mean, they were playing, like you said, they were keeping the ball at half court. They weren't doing anything to be able to do that. My